Welcome everyone. This is Franklin Delano Floyd, part 7. Now, when Franklin had taken Suzanne and Michael and left Florida, they went to New Orleans. And there, they had actually dropped the names that they were using. And Suzanne started going by Tanya Tadlock. And Franklin started going by the name Clarence Hughes. And as they came into New Orleans, Suzanne changed her name from Tanya Tadlock to Tanya Hughes because her and Franklin actually got married. You're hearing this right. Franklin had abducted her since she was 6, had abused her whole life, and even married up until just now, the very girl that he was calling his daughter. And as before, Suzanne was still working in the exotic industry. But instead of saying her father was dropping her off and going to her job, it was her husband. And a lot of her co-workers would notice that their relationship was very, very strained. In fact, there were many times when Suzanne would come to work with bruises on her arms and back. A lot of her friends would sit there and ask her to leave Franklin, but she would always say, I can't leave him because he said if I ever left, he would not only kill me, but kill Michael as well. It was during this time that Suzanne actually started secretly dating a customer at her workplace. But it was not long before Franklin actually found out about the secret relationship. And on one morning in 1990, on the way home, Suzanne was walking with a bag of groceries, and she was actually hit and struck from behind by a moving vehicle. And she was not found until later, where 3 passenger cars had noticed her lying on the side of the road, where they quickly called an ambulance and sent her to the hospital. The doctors quickly called Franklin in and said that your wife has been involved in an accident. And he had said that he had been staying at a hotel and actually slept through her phone call. And he was waiting for her to come home with groceries. As he was on the way home, the doctors had also called her job and actually informed them that she had been hit by a car. And her workers actually stressed and pleaded with the doctors, do not let her husband see her because we believe he is the one that actually tried to hit her. But regardless of what the workers had actually stressed to the doctors still let Franklin in to see Suzanne. And the next night after Franklin had left, Suzanne was pronounced dead. She was only 24 years old. I wish that Suzanne had a better ending than what she had got, but she does get justice. Shortly after this, Franklin had actually sat there and wanted to cash in on Suzanne's actually life insurance. So it's no surprise that he was trying to cash out on her life. But the funny thing with Franklin is the social security number that he put in was not for Clarence Hughes. And when they punched in the security number of his security card, it rang up Franklin Delano Floyd. At this point, the federal agents were called, and they wanted to know why Clarence was using the security card of Franklin Delano Floyd. Meanwhile, at the exotic place that Suzanne actually worked at before she passed, her friends had decided to notify her family, and they knew that she didn't talk much about her past life, but knew that she was Tanya Tadlock before she became Tanya Hughes. and they began looking over for family members, and they called a woman who had the daughter named Tanya Tadlock. And when they actually called to stress that her daughter had been killed, the woman said, "What are you talking about? My daughter has been dead when she was 18 months old, and this was over 20 years ago." So this opened up a lot more questions. Who was Tanya Hughes?